Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, distinguished media representatives, thank you for taking another invitation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on such short notice. We appreciate the pleasure of your company tonight, and it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome our dear guests, uh, distinguished Mr. Mr. Assistant to the President and Director of the Foreign Affairs Department from the Presidential Administration, and distinguished Ambassador Agent representing the President on special assignments. The purpose of the briefing today is to update you on the latest developments in our region. As you know, you remember from the briefing on Monday, we were concerned about the growing escalation caused by the intransigent position of the Armenian side. Regretfully, this escalation has to result in local limited counter-terrorism measures, which the Azerbaijan side was obliged to take. The origin, the cause of this is well known. Regretfully, the Armenian side chose to delay, to prolong, to play for time, and thus waste the valuable time, almost 3 years, in the immediate aftermath after the hostilities ended in November 2020. As a result of the counterterrorism measures taken by the Azerbaijani armed forces, the agreement was reached today for the demilitarization, disarmament, and disbandment of the remnants of regular forces of the Republic of Armenia, which were still illegally deployed in the sovereign territories of Azerbaijan in direct violation of international law and contrary to the letter and spirit of the trilateral statement in November 2020. I will not abuse the attention of the distinguished audience, and with this in mind, I would like to pass the floor to our distinguished colleagues and guests. First, Mr. Hajir, please.
Mr. Minister, dear ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, and dear media representatives, on this meeting runs in a really important way, distinguished ambassadors, media representatives, and from Azerbaijan and from the international media outlets as well. And we thank you for such an opportunity as a Minister of Foreign Affairs. And for particular thanks for our ambassadors who are present in Azerbaijan, for the call representatives. Short notice came to that meeting and also media representatives and come from the different countries to cover the realities on the ground that we very much appreciate. First, I would like to provide you with an operational update with regards to the development and since yesterday. As everybody knows that since the beginning of 2023, the genocide on multiple occasions has invited representatives of Armenian residents of Karabakh region of Azerbaijan to Baku to have a contact about the reintegration process. And this invitation has been done by the presidential administration of the Republic of Azerbaijan, but twice this invitation has been rejected by the so-called level separatism puppet regime in Karabakh region of Azerbaijan. And since then, to our international partners, we have extensively discussed this issue that Armenian-Azerbaijan normalization process is constituting the first track of normalization process including the implementation of the peace treaty. Second track on Azerbaijan's agenda was always as an internal chapter, internal matter to ensure integration of Karabakh Armenians to the political, economic, and social spectrum of Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan's global vision about the social economic integration was also ready and was prepared with an appropriate government institutions of Azerbaijan and to meet humanitarian situation on the ground and also to ensure a smooth integration process. And we have also witnessed the situation since June 15th on the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan, where relationship has been established and there was a provocation. And since then, unfortunately, there was a negative tendency as we have seen that the legal regime didn't allow for the passage through the Ardan-Khankendi road, and while having this road, Azerbaijan expected that it will ensure reintegration. But regarding this process and also on financial discussion with Armenia and Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan always raised in front of international partners illegal military presence in the sovereign territories of Azerbaijan. And in our last meeting and briefing in such a format, we have informed distinguished ambassadors as well that 10,000 strong armed forces and with the presence of the armed force of the Republic of Armenia and including within a tank and heavy artillery elements was constituting major threat to the regional peace and security and also Azerbaijan's reintegration agenda. And yesterday, early morning, and with a landmine explosions as a result of which Azerbaijani civilians and police officers become a victim, has caused the triggering element for Azerbaijan to start communities and localize counter-terrorism measures on the ground. In a sense, it was civil military engagement and also involving some police elements as well. It was not just only military operation as such, and therefore it was considered counter-offensive and local and limited scale engagement on the ground. And in the meantime, it was not a large-scale military operation as such, because once again, I would like to reiterate that this engagement was limited and small scale by nature. Azerbaijan side, as it has been demonstrated, and the appropriate videos and recordings by the armed forces of the Republic of Azerbaijan has chosen precision-guided ammunition. Azerbaijan was very selective and very vigilant, and also quite extraordinarily sensitive with regard to the civilian objects and civilians. Therefore, precision-guided ammunition has been applied to avoid collateral damage to civilians. As a result of which operation that we see, as a result of those measures on the ground, what we see, there is simply no damages to civilians. There are some rumors and some information are coming, but it needs to be double checked over again. But if it happens, we can talk about a very, very minimal case of collateral damages, but we are ready to look at such cases as well. In the run of this counter-terrorism actions on the ground from Azerbaijan side, SMS messages has been delivered to all households, all mobile subscribers in Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, and warning the population and residents on the ground, especially civilians, to keep them a safe distance from the military objects and military installations. And then appropriate leaflets in two languages, in Armenian and English, has been provided to all households, to all major cities, and all especially has been distributed among the civilian population. The message was that keep them a safe distance from the military objectives and military installations. What we have witnessed the Armenian side, and it was also correct information that they are receiving, they try to install military objectives very close to the civilians and civilian institutions. And in the course of the counter-terrorism actions on the ground, on certain occasions, Azerbaijan side has identified legitimate military target, but not seeing civilians next to that, and military operations and military engagement has been abolished and aborted. As a sign of respect to the civilians, it once again demonstrated that how Azerbaijan side was vigilant with regard to that. And with regard to the diplomatic action on the ground, and since the start of this engagement, we have been also engaged very active diplomatic engagement with our partners, and reiterating over again that Azerbaijan's agenda is about peaceful integration of Karabakh Armenians, and Azerbaijan also supports normalization process between Armenia and Azerbaijan. But Azerbaijan can't tolerate any longer having within 10,000 strong armed forces on the sovereign territories of Azerbaijan with the substantial component of the Armenian forces in Iran. And yesterday, President Administration of the Republic of Azerbaijan made it twice in a statement, once again inviting representatives of Armenian citizens of Karabakh to the Republic of Azerbaijan to have discussions and to have a contact and a dialogue with regards to the integration process. Unfortunately, yesterday it was not addressed in a proper manner from the other side. And also Minister of Defense of the Republic of Azerbaijan made appropriate statements, and also some other government officials of the Republic of Azerbaijan made a statement that once they decide to disarm and to disband the armed forces on the ground, Azerbaijan is ready to hold
counter-offensive actions, but again, I would like to underline over again that it was a limited scale and also local engagement. And over the night, and active engagement with diplomatic channels and also via the Russian peacekeeping contingent on the ground. And we also had continued to have very effective and collaborative relations with them and via them, and we also delivered our certain messages to Karabakh Armenians, and they also played their important role with regard to ensuring safety on the ground with regard to the local population. On many important issues, we have coordinated certain actions, and beforehand, of course, Azerbaijan armed forces informed Russian peacekeeping contingent and Russian Turkish military monitoring center on the ground so that to avoid any potential collateral damages on the ground. And again, we had very effective and coordinated actions on the ground with regard to the safety of the civilian population. And via the Russian peacekeepers and also via our international partners, we have continued our engagement. And Azerbaijan's proposal was on the table that we are ready to hold military counter-offensive, counter-terrorism actions on the ground once we start to start. And since the early morning, the discussions continued, as a result of which there was a consent that 1300 Baku time there will be full of the military engagement on the ground. And Azerbaijan has received assurances that so-called illegal forces on the ground will disarm themselves, and also military detachments of the Republic of Armenia stations on the southern territory of the Republic of Azerbaijan will disarm itself, and they will also abandon all their military outposts and military positions, and also surrender all their military equipment and their arms and weapons. And they also safe passage to the appropriate assembly points will also provided from Azerbaijani side. And heavy equipment and surrender of the heavy equipment in this case, heavy artillery, tanks and some other equipment will be subject to the discussion, but also be surrendered to Azerbaijani side. And all of these actions are also on the ground coordinated with the Russian peacekeepers as well. And Azerbaijan also is ready for the tomorrow's engagement and also initial contact with the representatives of the Armenian representatives of Armenian residents in Karabakh to have a broader discussion about the reintegration process under the constitution and laws of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan's vision is ready also to have a smooth integration process. And also, we are looking forward to meet immediate humanitarian requirements for the population on the ground. For that purpose, we are also trying to reach through the different channels to the local population and to understand and to hear their humanitarian needs on the ground. And of course, we are also seeking a soonest period of time to ensure stability and security on the ground for the appropriate work of the civilian institutions of the Republic of Azerbaijan. And today, at the Cabinet of the Ministers of Azerbaijan, there is a broad meeting at the working level with an appropriate civilian institutions of Azerbaijan to start civilian projects with regard to meeting the humanitarian requirements and also long-term and short-term requirements on the ground with regard to the supply of social welfare instruments and other social elements on the ground, and also ensuring the political economic, social integration of Armenian residents into proper Azerbaijan as such. And in this regard, we are really disturbed and concerned by the hasty statements by some countries with regard to the situation on the ground. Nevertheless, on international community and our partners and have been informed through the diplomatic channels about the real situation on the ground and about the legitimate security concerns of the Republic of Azerbaijan, that was with regard to the presence of the armed forces of the Republic of Armenia. And again, we do regret that there was no proper attention has not been paid to that, and some unilateral statements have been made, but we don't think that is not helpful to the agenda of peace and also ensuring the proper integration of Armenian residents to Azerbaijan. And we do also regret that there wasn't one unilateral attempt to call the United Nations Security Council meeting. Of course, in case of the United Nations Security Council meeting, Azerbaijan is ready, as it was in the last time, to express its views and its legitimate concerns, and also its vision with regard to that. But we don't think that the United Nations Security Council in this case is a needed and relevant instrument. And we do think and we do believe that solution of the important issues are on the ground, and on the ground, these issues need to be solved. Therefore, we do think that if such a meeting, in case of taking place, it will be countereffective and detrimental, and we should be avoided by at least no harm policy on the ground, and to support initiatives on the ground, not to deteriorate and already fragile situation. Therefore, once this initiative has been made, and we are reiterating our hope that there is no need for such a meeting. Again, in case of holding such a meeting, Azerbaijan in a proper way will express its legitimate security concerns and legitimate vision. Again, I would like to reiterate that Azerbaijan's agenda is about peace and regional peace, and Azerbaijan will do its utmost to ensure the integration of the Karabakh region to Karabakh, and we do think that with the disarmament of the military component, we will have far better chances, far better opportunities for the integration process, and also Azerbaijan peace agenda to advance. Azerbaijan also continues to support Armenian-Azerbaijan normalization process, and also Armenian-Azerbaijan peace treaty signing process. And notwithstanding the fact that Armenian side last several months have been engaged in hybrid warfare against the Republic of Azerbaijan. This hybrid warfare has demonstrated itself with a diplomatic warfare by Armenia and Armenian diaspora and lobby groups against the Republic of Azerbaijan. And Armenian diplomatic missions all around the world are still questioning the territorial integrity of the Republic of Azerbaijan. And we know that they are writing the diplomatic notes to different countries when we are holding different events in the liberated territories of Azerbaijan. And this was received on understanding. Because verbally, the Republic of Armenia, at the level of the head of the government, states that they recognize Azerbaijan's territorial integrity, but their diplomatic actions speak for the contrary. In UNESCO, when Azerbaijan's cultural heritage was inscribed and highlighted, there was a massive attack in the UNESCO against the cultural heritage of Azerbaijan, which was yet another ununderstandable issue from Armenian side. Armenian side also through the diaspora and lobby groups, and also some international media outlets also engaged in a massive disinformation and misinformation campaign against the Republic of Azerbaijan. And militarily speaking, that Armenia still was holding the military forces on the ground on the southern territories of Azerbaijan, and all in all of these elements are demonstration of the fact that the conflict is here. As a result of this action from the Armenian Republic of Armenia, they have created unnecessarily toxic and unconducive atmosphere for the agenda of peace in our region. Again, regardless of this fact, Azerbaijan is supporting these initiatives and looking forward for active engagement with our international partners on Armenia-Azerbaijan normalization track as such. And we do think that reintegration process that continues second track of Azerbaijan's policy of reintegrating Armenians to Azerbaijan's social economic track will complement this one another and will ensure stable and enduring peace in the region. Thank you. I will be pleased if there are any questions and remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Kajir. If I may ask the floor to distinguished Ambassador Amir, representative of President and Special Assignments. Please.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, dear representatives of media. First of all, let me join my colleagues in thanking you for showing up in such big numbers. I don't have much to add to what was said, and I will keep my remarks rather short. Just a couple of messages. The first one is just to say that today's developments they have helped us all to basically overcome one of the main stumbling blocks which were in the way of the achievement of sustainable and long-term peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and that is the fact that the issue of illegal foreign military presence in the sovereign territory of Azerbaijan have been efficiently addressed. Despite the fact that Azerbaijan has raised this issue in many occasions in different international platforms and appealed to Armenia in the first place, but also to major
facilitators in the peace process that this issue has to be dealt with on an urgent basis. Unfortunately, we didn't see any concrete actions or any efficient recipes to address this problem. So, like it has been always the case in the last years, Azerbaijan was actually forced to resolve this issue on its own. I hope that today's development and the arrangements reached will be completely and in good faith fulfilled by the Armenian side. And I think that this is one of the prerequisites for the future advancement of the peace process. I would like just to take this opportunity to reaffirm Azerbaijan's strong and steadfast commitment to the advancement of the peace agenda and to our commitment to engage constructively in all three tracks of the normalization process between Armenia and Azerbaijan. That is the negotiations on the peace agreement, the discussions on the delimitation of the frontier between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and the third track being the opening of communication links between the two countries. I think that today's developments have put us in a situation when we will have less irritants on the way of concentrating on the main issues which await us ahead. And I would like to echo what was said by distinguished Mr. Haji, that we also want to make sure that nothing deals a blow to a very fragile and sensitive nature of current situation. We want to appeal to countries, relevant countries, countries concerned, to think twice between undertaking any steps or actions or statements that could put this fragile situation in further jeopardy. So that's why I would like to reaffirm our appeal to those who basically are seeking to convene the session of the United Nations Security Council to think how helpful this step could be in order to advance the overall peace agenda. We have seen already several previous occasions what this contribution was. So we want to concentrate and to divert our attention back to the main peace process, to the main facts. And so that's why I hope that this appeal of Azerbaijan will be heard at the meeting will not negatively affect, or at best it could be even cancelled, because I don't see that the reasons which actually stood at the bottom of the desire to seize the Security Council, they are no longer there, because the ceasefire arrangement has been reached, and we hope that it will be respected by the Armenian side as it is by Azerbaijan. Thank you.
I'd like to thank both distinguished gentlemen representatives of the presidential administration for their interventions at today's briefing. I hope that ladies and gentlemen of the diplomatic corps and of the media community are now better equipped to understand the realities on the ground, the first-hand information provided by the Azerbaijani government on the processes and the immediate aftermath as we see from Baku. Now I would like to open the Q&A session and invite the distinguished audience, be it diplomatic or representing the media community, to use this opportunity to ask questions or provide comments perhaps. Please. Ambassador Kazakhstan, please. Alim Bayal, Ambassador of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan today once again expressed its support for the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, and we welcome the Azerbaijan initiative to hold a meeting with Karabakh Armenians. My question is, what are the prospects of the peace agreement now at this moment in time? Thanks. Please, Mr. Hadi.
With regard to the peace agreement, I would like to reiterate that after the 44 days of war, it was initiative of the Republic of Azerbaijan to sign a peace treaty with the Republic of Armenia, notwithstanding the fact that Azerbaijan was suffering from the 30-year-long military occupation and aggression from the side of Armenia. And Azerbaijan has formulated basic principles of a peace treaty between two countries, especially based on the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and non-use of force, and some other fundamental principles of international law, and including Azerbaijan as part of the principles suggested to establish a diplomatic relation between two countries once these principles have been installed in a bilateral relation between two countries. And text of the bilateral peace treaty between two countries has also been provided and prepared by Azerbaijan and submitted to Armenian side for the discussions. And we do appreciate that our international partners and the United States provided good offices for facilitation of the peace treaty discussions, and also Russian Federation also provided another platform for discussion of the peace treaty issues. But with regard to the platforms where the discussions have taken place, that was always a position of Azerbaijan. It's not important where we're discussing, it was important what we are discussing. And what we are discussing is that Azerbaijan's approach was that sooner is better with a peace treaty. We can have transformative and sweeping change in the region of the South Caucasus, and it can also close in a chapter of the hostility between two countries that Armenia has an ambition to war against Azerbaijan. As we have already informed the international community and people in Azerbaijan, more than 70% to an extent, roughly we can say, of the peace treaty has been cleared. There are certain issues, and fundamental issue was about ethnic minorities concept, and our international partners also suggested that Karabakh Armenians as such is a concept of an ethnic minority. In that concept, as an ethnic minority should be reflected, but in the meantime, while reflecting ethnic minority, it should be a reciprocal process. Armenia should also assume its responsibility with regard to the ethnic minorities. We expected that on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly, there will be another round of intensive discussions. Unfortunately, as a result of which this hybrid warfare that I tried to describe, and also negative tendencies that we have witnessed in our region, we couldn't hold yet another round of intensive discussions in Washington on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly. But it is still on the agenda of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan continues to strongly support peace treaty, and we do believe that it is doable and it can be done, but Armenia should demonstrate positive engagement with regard to that. For that, I think that certain parameters should be fulfilled on the ground. First, the Republic of Armenia must finally cease its all territorial claims against the Republic of Azerbaijan. Second, the Republic of Armenia so far denied that they don't have any military forces on the territories of Azerbaijan, and today Armenian leadership over again denied this fact. But facts are speaking for themselves, and we have operative information. And this current counter-terrorism actions on the ground once again demonstrated that Armenia has real forces on the ground. Because we are not thinking about paramilitary or any kind of these paramilitary groups. We were dealing with the real combat forces on the ground. As these video footages have been provided, they have been built strong trenches and within bunkers, within strong artillery elements, as a result of which Shusha city of Azerbaijan was bombed. But you know about how valuable Shusha for Azerbaijan and Azerbaijani people, and they were bombing Shusha and with heavy artillery, as a result of which we lost one civilian, and they were bombing Agdan city of Azerbaijan that has been destroyed, and new installments that they are building now that they try to attempt to bomb that country. It once again demonstrates that we were dealing with the real army on the ground, not some kind of paramilitary forces. And third, the Republic of Armenia, from its government budget, continues to support financially, politically, logistically, and militarily within a legal puppet regime on the sovereign territories of Azerbaijan. And Armenia must end all of these elements, and afterwards we do think that we will have much better opportunity for peace. Therefore, we are cautiously optimistic with regard to the today's arrangements that once the legal regime has agreed, was obliged to agree to disarm the armed forces, we will have better chances to withdraw all elements of Armenian armed forces from the Republic of Azerbaijan and to ensure regional peace on the ground. And we are still once again reiterating our support and commitment to the peace treaty between two countries. Again, we do think that it will change and the political map and geopolitical map of the region of the South Caucasus. And I would like to also reiterate and repeat that integrated regional resource coverage is the actual initiative of the President of Azerbaijan. While having international media in our auditorium, I would like once again to reiterate and to urging understanding of the international media with regards to certain terminology. Unfortunately, there were going to some tendencies as if there was going to be ethnic cleansing whatever in Iran. That is a completely unacceptable such a terminology against Azerbaijan. Because we are proud of our multiculturalism, we are proud of different ethnicities living inside by side in peace and dignity in Azerbaijan. Therefore, same parameters with regard to the protection of the rights of the ethnic minorities will be provided on an individual basis to Armenians in Karabakh. There could be potentially some concerns within the Armenian residents of Karabakh. Once again, using this opportunity, we would like to send our messages that Azerbaijan's intention is to provide their rights and security and their safety as well. Once the security situation on the ground is stabilized, Azerbaijan will continue as a civil engagement and with the civilian institutions to have better opportunities to alleviate the situation and to ensure better integration. But once again, I'm calling for our international media friends and colleagues that to put an additional due diligence with regard to certain terminologies and to have a better fact-check factors on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? That seems not to be the case. I'd like to thank our distinguished counterparts. Sir, yes, in the back, please. If you can introduce yourself. Thank you.
Добрый день, издание News.ru, Москва, Юрий наших. Известно, что Европарламент сутки назад призвал ввести санкции против Баку, призвал Совет Европы. Как вы думаете, есть ли какие-то шансы на реализацию этой идеи, особенно учитывая, что события закончились так быстро?
Shall I answer in Russian or in English? I will say in Russian, yes? But most of the people here don't understand Russian, so I'll respond in English. Well, I was referring in my initial remarks that all those international actors which seek to contribute positively to the peace process, they should devote their efforts in this direction and not to engage in any destructive or irritant activities which would be making the achievement of a long-lasting and sustainable peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan a difficult task. Unfortunately, European Parliament already has followed for some time a very negative tradition of very destructive and one-sided, biased, erroneous assessments in their activities. I don't consider this body has kept any credibility in terms of their possible contribution to the peace process between Armenia and Azerbaijan, for the obvious reasons that I would like not to dwell into today. So that's why I think that one should not take it too seriously, because this attempt is a clear provocative act which aims at disrupting the emerging and very fragile situation which has been achieved earlier today. And I think that it is very important now for all those who want to help Armenia and Azerbaijan to refrain from this destructive and biased deeds or actions, which basically are non-efficient. On the one hand, they are useless, they are misleading, and as such, they should be rejected.
Если можно, я бы хотел посредством вас, дорогой коллега, поинтересоваться у Европейского парламента, как у них идет расследование коррупции среди членов Европейского парламента и руководства. Когда можно ожидать резолюции по этому вопросу, а также судебных приговоров. Спасибо. Any other questions? If that not seems to be the case, I would like to thank our distinguished guests, distinguished Mr. Tangier, Mr. Amadeo. Thank you. Interesting and useful insights, as always. I'd like to thank our distinguished audience, representatives of the diplomatic corps, the media community. Thank you for your attendance and participation on such short notice. We believe it is important, again, that you have first-hand information from the senior representatives of Azerbaijani government, of Azerbaijani presidential administration, so you are better equipped to communicate, to report to your capitals and your news headquarters, that is, about the realities on the ground and the position of Azerbaijan, which is aimed at peace agenda, peace normalization, and regional cooperation based on the principles and values of international law and good neighborhood. Thank you.